What's going on, everybody? Goree here. And I got about a brief 10 minutes before my client comes, and I got about 10% remaining on my battery on my camera. But I just want to kind of use this moment to kind of just vent for a little bit. And the thing that's been on my mind for today is that had me really just running myself raggedy was anxiety. Anxiety is not a fun thing. I'm not that familiar with anxiety. I'm just starting to really understand and experience anxiety for like here the past maybe 2, maybe 3 years, and it's not fun. I didn't understand it. My wife used to have anxiety a lot, and I didn't understand like what that was to have anxiety, to be just running and ruin your life if you allow it to. And anxiety is like, in a nutshell, how I think of it, how I view it is thinking too far in the future. And by me being a visionary, and moving in the entrepreneur space, you have to have some type of forethought or vision or foresight for the future and looking ahead. And by me being a visual person and being a visionary, it gets hard sometimes to not be anxious for the future. But scripture tells us to be anxious for nothing. And those are the things I have to remind myself, that not to be anxious for anything. I had a moment today where and my wife, we woke up, went to the gym around like 6-8, woke up at like 6:30 a.m. to go to the gym. And I drunk pre-workout, and I'm trying to wean myself off of it. And I've been weaning myself off because I don't like the way it makes me feel. It makes me feel extra anxious. And for an already motivated person, so it puts me in like overdrive and hyperdrive, and I just do not like that feeling. It's not great. But I found myself drinking that anyway to give myself like an extra push in the gym, get my blood pumping, open up my blood, just open up my veins so I can get more blood pumping through it. And it's like, I knew the after effects was the thing that was gonna get me, but I still did it anyway. So I was like, so I left the gym before, I felt myself getting anxious before I actually left the gym. I was on my last set. I had one more set to do. And my wife, came over and she was like, hey man, are you ready? She gave me that "are you ready" look, and I was just like, okay, she's ready to go. But I know I had time. I could have got my last set in, but I would reach 8 o'clock, and I had to be here at the shop, for 9:15 because I'm a barber, and my first client is at 9:15. And so I found myself getting super anxious because I said, I hate being late. I hate being late. That's like my biggest pet peeve. But I understand, like, as a professional, sometimes you're gonna be late. And you think about if you go to a doctor's office and you have an appointment at a certain time, you're going to be there for about 15, 20 minutes, sometimes a little longer because there's other patients in front of you, because the healthcare provider wants to give a thorough check to the patient that they're with at the moment. And within any profession where you're doing some type of service, whether it be healthcare or barbering or any type of service business, you want to give the best care possible and be thorough with your client, patient, or whoever it is that you're with. You don't want them they don't want you to feel rushed, and you don't want to feel rushed as a patient or a client. But I felt rushed, and my anxiety was getting the best of me. So I was so frustrated with myself. I found myself very irritated, and I almost allowed a little things like a conversation with my wife when I was checking the dishwasher and cleaning out the filter in the dishwasher. And I asked her, I said, hey babe, do you normally put like bleach inside of it? Where do you put bleach inside this dishwasher when it has this little odor going on? And she said, I know we put it in like the little filter part. So I took the filter out and I sprayed it out and everything like that. And she was like, and I went to go put some bleach in, and she was like, don't put a lot of bleach in there. And I was just like, I said, I'm not gonna put a lot of bleach in there because I'm heavy-handed when it comes to bleach. To be honest, I like to make sure my stuff is clean, but I like to smell the bleach a little bit. I'm not crazy. I don't like when it's overpowering, but I like to know that it's clean and there's enough. But I dripped it in there. My nerve is so bad, my hands are shaking, so it drills it in there. She was like, so she's seen it was like looked like I drizzled it in there 2 times, but it was only 1 time. But my nerves was so bad from my anxiety, it was going on inside of me. It looked like I dripped it like 2 times. And she said, don't you drip it in a 3rd time. I said, I only did it once. And she's like, you was going for a 3rd time. I know how you get. And I was like, no, I just only did it once. It only looked like that because my hands were shaking because my nerves were bad, because my anxiety was getting the best of me. So I found myself. I told her, I said, "Hey, look, don't be aggravating. Don't be aggravating." And I was just like, that's not the best way to come off, you know what I'm saying, when saying stuff like that. I'm working on my delivery. Don't bash me for that. But I'm working on my delivery when it comes to delivering things in a caring way. But I felt myself so irritated with myself. I had told her early on, I was like, I'm so irritated and aggravated with myself right now. I'm over myself. and the day hadn't really started for me yet. And I just found myself being late coming to the shop. And I told my client that I was gonna be late coming in, and I said, man, hey, bro, I'm sorry. I'm running late. I ran into a detour. There was a train coming, and I had to go a whole alternate route. And he's like, okay, that's fine. Like, what's your ETA? And I was like, man, probably about 8 minutes, you know, give or take. It was about 10. I was like, man, maybe I can make it in 8. But I found myself getting here, and it doesn't take me long to cut his hair. I had to remember, like, who my client was, and I've cut his hair for so long that it doesn't take me long when you know what you're doing. And I had to realize that anxiety, if you're not careful and you're not mindful of it, it will run and ruin your life. So my takeaway for today is to relax, chill, take a deep breath, just get to where you're going. Don't worry about how much time it takes you to get there. And you'll realize that God is in control. You have to realize that God is in control of everything. That's my thing. So on my way from my community, I just found myself praising, lifting my hands up, and just giving thanks to God. It was a song that came on that just reminded me, oh, man, God, you're in control. You're, be anxious for nothing. You're the one that's in control. You have the final say. And I'm just praying, Lord, please don't let me die trying to rush to get to this place, because I'm so anxious to get there. And on my way, it was raining, and I hit a big old water polo, and that thing, it swerved the van a little bit. And I just heard all the gravel from the van, said I was driving, and just kick up under the dust, at the back of the van. And I was like, wow, man, that puddle could have swerved me towards the curb, and I could have hit, ramped the curb and went into some trees. But I was like, thank God that he didn't allow that to happen. And then when I got here, and I just apologized to my client, I was like, man, look, I apologize. I hate being late. He's like, man, don't worry about it. I'm always late to everything. And I was like, yeah, but it's I try to pride myself of being on time, and have to remind myself that, we're human, we're working, and we can't always be working on our own time. We got to also make sure we're working on God's timing too. So that was my little rant for today, just to kind of just get it off my chest. The takeaway would be to take your time, look, be anxious for nothing, and let God be God, and don't allow anxiety to ruin your day and run your life. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you like this type of content and these moments that we have right here, don't be shy to, like, subscribe, comment, leave me some messages in DM and some other messages or some other topics that you want me to talk about. But for now, I'll see you guys later. Peace.